Hey!
Hello!
We are back again for another episode of Algernon's Angels. So, obviously, a lot happened last episode for the Act 2 finale. And we're going to talk about it before we have our downtime. So, what do we want to start off on? Because obviously, it was quite chunky.
I think you've got the agenda, Nate.
Yeah, I do have the agenda. Let's start off then with that big old talking rat pile.
Big old talking rat pile.
Oh yeah, and this is Meg's first time in an Algernon's Angels, so yay!
Oh yeah, hi. Hello, I made it, finally. Yay. Put my crochet over there.
Yeah, so the big old talking rat pile happened.
That was a thing.
That was a thing. Kind of unexpected, a sentient rat swarm demanding the return of the jewel from the crown of House Antelier.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know
saying-
something. I've got questions.
Yeah.
My question is, right, why on earth is everyone in that city eating mushrooms when there's clearly a plethora of protein right beneath their feet? You know? Where's the skewered rats? Where's the rat flambe?
I think the slight problem is that anyone who goes down into the sewers doesn't tend to come back. That's the problem. And now we know why. It's because of the potential rat skewer flambe that
the rats
will eat them.
Flambe you, yeah. In Elysia, rats flambe you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we all came out alive.
But
And
we're
the
special.
Sanguivars all came out alive, but not everyone came out alive.
No. Well, that's a really good point as well. So we should come on to that in a moment. All the significant people who died.
Yeah, so this rat pile specifically asked for the jewel that came from the crown of Antelier back. So are we guessing? We're guessing Lady Valamar, sorry.
I think we were told.
Yeah.
I think didn't Algernon see it?
Algernon knew that, I think.
Yeah.
And then Algernon yeeted it. Yeet.
So just to be clear for listeners, because obviously we take notes on all this stuff, but there's a rich world Dan has built here. So Lady Valamar, is that her name? Was a former head of House Antelier, who were the ruling family in Elysia till the Irons kicked them out during the war. The war between the divine and arcane dragons. So yeah, when the sort of, well, was it before the emergence of the Sanguivar? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, before the
Sanguivar
bubble
happened
went up.
Post-bubble.
Post-bubble, that's it. So, that's her. Face in the rat swarm. Give it back to me.
So
That was pretty cool.
So are we guessing that she is a spirit, or is she somewhere still in Elysia that is using arcane magic to
control the rats.
control the rats?
Could be.
I assumed that she had sort of become that rat spirit monster.
Her spirit has been scattered amongst the rats, perhaps.
Yeah, because Algernon said something. I say it as if it's not me saying it. I said something a few sessions ago, which is like the noble houses of Elysia probably wanted to, even though they were being kicked out, they don't give up easily. They would have like cling on to power using whatever twisted arcane things possible.
So now she's got 1,000 furry phylacteries.
Some of them would have become the lodge.
That was quite beautiful, Meg. 1,000 furry phylacteries.
1,000 furry phylacteries. It's a bit of a tongue twister, though.
But it's beautiful. It's very poetic. Sorry, go ahead, JC.
No, I was just, Algernon was theorising that some of the nobility sort of became the lodge reticent in secret, so it was possible that others became a swarm of living rats.
One does presuppose the other.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so that was pretty cool, I've got to say. The sentient rat swarm I was a big fan of. A
So
very juicy threat for us as well in that mission.
The next thing I guess the next thing on our list is talking about something which we would also like to add that Dan did not expect us to actually do, and we all expected surely this is where Dan's aiming for us to go, and he was like, no. Is Mecha Tavarien, now that we have Tavarien in a big mech suit.
You know, when you present a D&D party who are carrying the soul of their dead kind of city mentor, and you present them with a massive spirit-driven mech suit, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, because I was forming the idea in my mind, and then Dan confirmed that it was powered by ghosts in that exact language. So I was like, well, we've got one.
We've got one that we would prefer to be driving this particular mech suit. Yes. So that was quite satisfying.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we are now sort of thinking about is what is that going to mean for the infrastructure for Elysia? Like, how are people going to react? Because I guess, you know...
Well, she was popular, wasn't she?
Popular, and
she was a popular civic figure.
Know now that we've now got Tavarien in a big daddy suit. So, how is that? Especially with now quite a lot of factions depleting because they've lost their leaders.
So let's go through it. Lukraji, leader of the faith, like the high priestess, gone, eaten by rats. Odelness, the sprite, the Oran sprite, leader of the chain bearers, dead. Killed by arcane blue box that turned out to be a bomb that we got for Nephene.
Caleb and McNulty.
Yeah,
leader
and
of the,
not technically dead. Just
well,
in our custody.
Certainly out of the picture. Currently in his own little bubble now.
Umi's
crispy, and Caleb is incapacitated.
So definitely the Hollow are out of the picture, pretty much.
Which sort of makes me think, like, you know, the sort of connection between sort of, you know, Caleb's spirit and Tavarien's spirit, like, it sort of brings into question the whole nature of the ghost in Elysia. Like, you know, before they were just some spooky threat being kept at bay, but now we've had at least 3 like evidences of sentient or like ghosts that have retained their sentience. So, you know, you have Caleb, you've got Tavarien, you had that that shield bearer that came after Atta.
It's really interesting, isn't it? And we've also witnessed ghosts in ghost orbs that look scared as well, rather than angry or hungry. And also in the mausoleum, it makes me think back to how we saw there were just these fairly peaceful looking ghosts drifting around the mausoleum, not trying to eat anyone.
Is it's time to blow a hole through the bubble and let all the ghosts in. So they just want to be friends.
See what happens.
Don't know about that.
I have to agree with Julia on that. I
don't know about that. But there's definitely more to it than what the citizens of Elysia have been led to believe, right?
I wonder that Tavarien is in ghost form, whether or not it's something she might be able to shine some light on.
Maybe it's worth asking her then. Yeah.
Anything else on Tavarien or the current status of? Because we've lost some we've lost 2 quite big powers in Elysia now.
Massively so. I can't help but feel as if going into Act 3, things are going to be, the whole city is going to be tipping into some kind of public disorder state. Like, so many big players have suddenly been wiped off. You can imagine people might start to panic. The remaining factions might start to grab for power. So it could be a very chaotic act, this coming one.
I guess this leads into... Oh, sorry. Did you want to...
Well, we sort of implicitly trust Tavarian, don't we? I guess like the more suspicious side of Errol, the player, definitely not Atta, loves ghosts, Goblino last name. Can't remember my character's last name. But yeah, I mean, she could be playing a long game. You never know. Maybe Tavarian's in.
Really?
She's going to
maybe.
be the BBEG.
Well, if
now we put her in a mech suit.
No.
Well, right. So, I mean, we know that ghosts are still semi coherent, sentient.
Yeah.
So they're. It's possible they're able to be duplicitous and vengeful. You never know. I can't imagine unless the fundamental process of becoming a ghost has twisted Tavarian. And then also being put into a giant mech suit. Well,
every
I don't know,
campaign. So Dan is very good at unexpected twists and character turns, but every campaign he puts in at least one NPC who is just adorable. I'm thinking of Aaron Fox in Cormier, which people may or may not be familiar with. Probably someone like Frinker from Year 1. And this season, I'm convinced it's Tavarian.
Whoa. I mean, Frinker, fair play, but not Dribbles the horse.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Meg. Dribbles the horse, of course, but
I mean,
he goes without saying, he got a statue.
It's not Dan's creation.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
true.
But anyway, and
It's real MVP.
Without fail, whenever Dan does produce a just genuinely adorable NPC, the players tend to start assuming they must be secretly evil. So I think we're falling into his trap.
I'm falling into the trap, okay.
But just imagine if you're right. How spectacular that will be.
No one expects the little old lady.
You just don't.
To be like a dictator.
Well, I don't think she's a little old lady anymore, is she?
No, she's a
old lady
big
spirit.
metal.
I mean, if it makes anyone feel better, we probably are going to end up with a lady dictator in Elysia, aren't we? That's my theory.
Speaking of which, Nephene.
Yeah.
Obviously ploughing along to be, the end baddie.
I think she just has to be at this point, doesn't she? A great baddie at that. I'm really looking forward to her as the BBG. Because I mean, we as players know that she sent that bomb that we recovered from Castle Antelier to Odelmus to blow him up. Our characters don't know that yet, so it'll be interesting to see how the first couple of episodes of Act 3 play out and how we sort of become fully alerted to her wrongness.
I still think she needs to do something worse. I mean, Odelmus was a bit of a twat, and I feel like blowing him up.
Dan's going to take care of it.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he will. She's going to be
those
bad.
weren't birds.
Babies in the Market Square.
Nathan!
What were they?
Oh, well, something worse.
Giving me ideas for my own DM.
Uh-oh. Do not feed the evil DM.
Is there anything else we want to talk about before we hand the reins back to Dan?
Anything on the agenda that we haven't covered yet?
Nobody else has got trauma yet. There's still
Can we talk very briefly
What are you doing, you slackers? Come on, get on my level.
Can we talk very briefly about our characters and like where we feel they're at, socially, psychologically, emotionally, fiscally?
I mean, I'm on like stress 8, 1 away from trauma.
God.
So
great, and Dan has already revealed he is not giving us 2 downtimes like he did at the beginning of Act 2. He's not that generous. It's very rude.
So
I know.
Well, we might get a little bit of money out of this, so we might be able to spend a little bit of money to get an extra downtime.
I think all of us are relatively high stress right now, right?
We
all went on a bit of a spending spree. Yeah.
I don't remember what it's like to be zero stress as Atta, but I feel like Atta swallows all the stress and turns it into like barminess. So
because who still currently has harm at the moment as well?
Oh yeah.
Me,
Oh gosh.
Frida has.
But you've always got.
Yeah, I'm just
trauma.
always yeah. I've got 2 level 1 harms. I've got 8 stress, 1
Gosh.
trauma. Doing great.
Gosh.
I thought more of us would get trauma this finale, but no trauma
Can
for
still
us.
happen.
We
Can
were
still
all very
happen.
well behaved. It could happen in the downtime.
Yeah.
I do not
really
trust Dan
could.
at the moment.
It really could
That
happen in
happened
the
to you in the
downtime.
downtime, didn't it?
It did. Yeah.
I think we're also very cautious about getting it, especially during like a raid or a heist or something like that, because if we do get trauma,
It
like
takes you
during
out.
that, then it kicks us out of the rest of the
Wouldn't
of
be
that
the most
session,
fun, would
which
it?
is not fun.
It sure
obviously.
does.
Yeah, but I think we're all in quite juicy, interesting positions as characters. I think Frida with her trauma and also her sort of repeated attempts to get in with the kindling. I think it's going to happen. 3rd time's the charm. You can do it.
I mean, it just seems to be a bit of a meme now. I tried it once to get insider knowledge, and now everyone keeps asking me to go back.
Yeah.
Well, we won't get. I mean, did we ever know that an assassin was after us until like we met them
literally
towards
didn't
the
know
end?
till we met them.
So oblivious to it all.
Right. So I guess, are there any consequences now? I don't think.
Well,
there
I think
Not that we know of.
many.
Not that we know of, no. But then we've also got Algernon with his secret, possibly sister, and his sort of, we need to resolve things between him and Blackthorn, and all that.
Here's a mystery to resolve. Actually, just bringing it full circle. What were Algernon's thoughts with, like, yeeting the crown like into the rat pile? Like what?
Right.
What's going on there?
When you have like a million rats asking you to do something, it's pretty hard to ignore them. But also, I think Algernon he'd given some sort of significance to the crown of authority, and I think in the moment, seeing the person who had that authority be like literal vermin, he was like, oh, so that's where authority gets you.
Ooh, interesting.
Very interesting.
Like, part of Algernon's arc is like rejecting the things that he was taught as a private school boy and as a military officer about like nationalism and imperialism and stuff.
That's very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Oh. That will give us something to chew on as we go into downtime now.
Yeah.
So, if you are interested in what we're going to do next, you can always hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and hit that bell so you get notified whenever we release episodes like this. We don't have very many episodes left of, at least for recording for us anyway, we don't have very many left. I think we'll probably do one more Algernon's Angels after this, and that'll be it, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, we're getting into the meat of it now, so definitely press that subscribe button and see where this is going, because it's getting juicy now. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in an episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.